with Steve, Cat, Ryan, Amanda, and Eric. In the voice of NEW, Vince Berry. Hitting all the topics like a clothesline flurry. Turn up your speakers and hear them out. You can listen from your car, even on your couch. They too raw, who NXT? Handing out smackdowns, follow on IG. Plus, it's sponsored by Tag Me a Date. Go to YouTube and sub now for every update. It's all wrestling here. No safe space, now listen in. Time to hear from some of the greats.
I'm actually a little surprised you played this song. It's great.
You know, I wanted to switch it up a little bit. Oh my God, do we have the return?
Hey, what's up?
Look who it is!
Where have you
Hello.
been?
Fuck Darby, we got Amanda.
Right?
How's
Sorry.
it
How are you?
going?
Good.
Wow.
How you doing?
It's good.
So good to see you. Welcome back.
Thank you. It's been a while.
It has been a while. We've missed you terribly. What great time to come back on. So very exciting.
I snuck in and surprised y'all.
It was fantastic. I love it. Welcome to the War Report podcast.
Yes, and welcome back, Amanda. Welcome to you listening at home to War Report Podcast, brought to you by TagMeDate.com, the first and only dating site exclusive for fans of professional wrestling. We'll be back when things are a little better. But we had a lot to talk about because, as the music Steve chose indicated, AEW has a very big Wednesday night coming up. Their pay-per-view equivalent for this month. Winter is coming. And
we never do AEW, so I figure switch it up a little bit, for the music anyway. And I love Darby's music, so
yeah, I know.
Darby's sick. I love Darby.
I love the look. I mean, he's one of those guys. The first time I saw him wrestle, I'm like, he's only going to be able to wrestle for like 5 years before he like cripples himself. But I'm going to enjoy the whole time.
very cool. Yeah, no, I love everything about him. He's a lot of fun to watch.
He puts it all together, and he produces those segments at his big compound there. The original Lance Archer segment with the wrestling ring was filmed at Darby's place too. He's got
I didn't know that.
13 acres of space now.
Wow.
Wow.
He's a kid who like grew up bouncing around like being a friggin' vagrant basically, and now he's like, huge TV star. So awesome story. And I like that he takes this car. They're saying it's the car that he like, I slept in this car and all this bullshit, but it's just like this old beat up car. But they keep involving it. Like it was painted up, the face of TNT. Then he drove it to the ring, and then he got power bombed through it, the windshield. And then like in this last promo, he lit the car on fire, and he's standing in front of it with the TNT championship, and the car's on fire behind him. I'm like, okay, that's cool. But he's going to be tagging with Cody to go against Team Taz, which is going to be Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs, Will Hobbs, now part of Team Taz. I'm actually looking forward to this event for AEW, and I'm glad we got a chance to discuss it right up front because Layla Hirsch is wrestling Britt Baker. Now, Layla Hirsch is a very legit wrestler, grappler, and there's speculation that she could join Team Taz if she gets signed to AEW. She's going against Britt Baker. We got the tag team match, Team Taz against Cody and Darby. Frankie Kazarian's going against Chris Jericho, which is kind of a weird one, but they're building this tag team thing where Jericho and Hager are going to try and go for the tag team titles. I don't know. And then
I
you got
can see that happening.
Yeah, I think that's the direction they're taking, where they're beating these fluky wins because they had to have MJF use the diamond ring as a little bit of plunder last week, so they had to cheat to win. But then the Dynamite Diamond Ring is actually up for grabs. Looks like it's going to be an annual thing. MJF is putting his Dynamite Diamond Ring up in a battle royal, and it's anybody's game pretty much as to who takes it. And then the world title match, Jon Moxley against Kenny Omega, which they've now said, Tony Khan has announced that TNT has agreed for an overrun if that match does not end by 10 p.m.
Ooh,
Very nice.
A real old school overrun. Like
awesome.
one.
I love
not-
everything about AEW, man.
I'm having fun.
I know.
It reminds me so much of watching Nitro.
You know what it is? Here's Tony Khan gets it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you have the minds
Mhm.
of Cody with the Young Bucks, with Omega, with Jericho, all the tutelage, all the knowledge. You put Arn Anderson. I mean, the generations of they're just doing everything right, and it is definitely some of the best watchable wrestling on television today.
Absolutely. Because what I like that they're doing is they're mixing the young guys and the old guys. Like,
Yeah.
and of course, you have to, like, WWE's been around for so much longer than AEW, but to compare what they're doing right now is when a legend comes back, the legend is like fucking invincible.
Mhm.
And they beat the young guys, they're untouchable. These guys aren't in there to put themselves over.
Right.
Jake is out there to build up Archer.
Mhm.
Taz is out there to build up Starks and Brian Cage and Hobbs. Like Arn Anderson is out there as part of the Nightmare Family with Cody. Dean Malenko and Jerry Lynn are working backstage. These are all like guys who understand, like you said, building a company and taking these new guys and bringing them in. It's not just.
And notice too, you hear a lot of bullshit on social media, a lot of people bitching and complaining, saying that, they're just grabbing all the WWE guys and this and that. At the end of the day, whoever they are grabbing is deserving of the position to be on the show, number one. Number two, it's not like they're all getting pushed immediately right towards a world championship either.
Yeah.
They're coming in, they're paying their dues in that, it's not like they're just, look at Miro's a good example. It's not like he's a champion already, and he's the latest.
No title shots, no nothing like that. If it was TNA 10 years ago or 15 years ago, they would have signed him. He would have had a world title shot and like lost to Jeff Jarrett within like 4 weeks. Like
Correct.
They would have already had that shit happen. Do we think the title? We'll take this one around them. Is the title changing hands? Is the AEW championship currently held by Jon Moxley going? Is Wednesday the night? Is Kenny Omega going to win, or do they put that off until the next pay-per-view?
Oh, that is a tough call because
That's what keeps this interesting. Is like sometimes we talk about this WWE stuff. We're like, we already kind of know what's going to happen. Like, I have no clue what's going to happen with this world title because Jon Moxley's doing such a good job.
Mhm.
He could keep the title for another year.
I think that for Omega to win, he would need to be more of the cleaner role. Whereas now he's kind of not really a heel yet, but he's leaning towards there. And I think when they put the title on him, he's got to be full blown the cleaner.
I agree. And go ahead, Steve.
So I agree 100% with Amanda, but I also think the reason for me, and this is just, I guess, with all the years of WWE and WWF and, WCW and all that shit, to me, they almost owe it to Moxley in a way to allow him to lose the title at a pay-per-view and not just a random Wednesday night to pull in the ratings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I think they owe him, at least let him drop it at a pay-per-view. So I do not see him dropping the title on Wednesday.
How about the mystery of who was it that attacked Jon Moxley, and will that have any effect? Because 2 weeks ago they were doing a contract signing. Jon Moxley got jumped. The next week they redo the contract signing. Kenny Omega gets jumped by Moxley, and Moxley says, "Whoever you sent to attack me didn't do a good enough job." So there's a couple strings hanging off of that. Did Omega actually send somebody? Because we never really got a straight answer. And if so, who would it have been? So if he sent somebody, who is it? And if Omega didn't send somebody, Would it be Hangman that did it for some, to try and get back with the Elite? Is there a mystery person that's going to be revealed on Wednesday?
I think that's a very safe bet that we're going to find out who it is on Wednesday for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I was thinking the same thing that they have to. They're not going to keep this mystery. Oh, it's a mystery man in a motorcycle helmet or something.
I don't think so.
I'm excited, man. It feels like a pay-per-view. Moxley retains, Omega turns heel. Now, it just says Facebook user. I'm assuming that's either Eric or Ryan.
Yeah, it's got to be one of the two, I would imagine. But thank you for contributing. As far as an Omega full heel turn, I think that's a very safe bet.
Yeah, because I think with the story,
it's been coming for a while. It's even though this isn't a pay-per-view, it's a big event for them.
And they even got, because TNT and HBO are both owned by Warner Media, they were able to use Winter is Coming from Game of Thrones basically for free.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool that the brands, because there's a rumor that the next AEW show is either going to be on HBO or on HBO Max.
What?
I mean, I think that's pretty sick. I think it should definitely be on. It would be smarter, I believe, to do HBO Max at that point.
Right. The stream. And I think they're building their streaming library.
Correct. Well, right. I think that would benefit HBO more. Right. The other side of it too is anyone that already has HBO is getting HBO Max for free for, I think, a year anyway. So it would be a good time.
I guess I have HBO. I should probably take advantage of that.
I just did. That's how I know. I said, holy shit, I got HBO. Let me try it out. And it worked. So, So it's just another goddamn streaming service to use. But,
There's so many.
It's gonna
and yet I'm still that same asshole that pays hundreds of dollars for regular cable on top of all these streamings, which is so stupid. But, we like a lot of shows, and I like to, watch them like.
It's so, and then with the cable, it's not cheaper to get rid of the internet and all. Like, you have to.
No, it's cheaper to keep it all together and bundle it.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you don't watch a lot of TV or whatever it is, you only. I keep my cable subscription for wrestling and sports, pretty much, so I can keep it. I don't want to watch the news. I have no interest in the news. Oh, and the Game Show Network. That's the one I watch all the time.
I love Game Show Network.
Game Show Network is the best. That might not be in Canada, but the Game Show Network, it's just literally, it's all old game shows. Match Game.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah, so it's just, and they have new ones, like they got the new Family Feud, but then they show like old, like 1980s Family Feud. It's pretty cool. So that's the speculation is that HBO, to circle back around, AEW may be on HBO Max with their next program. They haven't announced it yet, but that's the speculation. So
right, it's coming. I would listen, tune in and you'll find out. Before we dive into the next show or the next topic, there's one thing I do want to bring up. I want to kind of get it out of the way, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but I think it's important that we acknowledge something that just recently came about. And they're actually, it's all over. It was on the news this evening as well. I'm in New York. It took place in New York, but the Mazzaro family, for anyone that's still, even alive, I don't know her parents. Like, I don't know that whole deal or situation, but, to lose their daughter to suicide, a year ago, and now their son was stabbed to death in Manhattan. It's just one blow after another. So thoughts and prayers to the family. It's fucking horrible.
Well, and especially because I heard it was a random stabbing.
Yeah.
That's awful.
It's almost that makes it. I don't want to say worse or better.
Dude, especially with everything we're going through right now as a world, with this fucking COVID and everything else, you gotta. It's just, come on, man. We got enough to deal with,
Yeah, seriously, to just go around stabbing and killing people for no reason, literally.
And then people want to know why New Yorkers are leaving the city,
Right?
It's just crazy. So I thought we should acknowledge it, bring it up. I don't want to be a downer on this evening, but definitely I think something. And I do want to also mention one other thing as a sidebar. on the screen, it's telling you that Barrio Rikers returns. He's not returning to the show tonight, but I did want to give a shout out to our boy Big Heck, Barrio Rikers, who, as we speak, is attending Larry Zbyszko's training center in Florida, and he's getting the tights back on, and he's taking some bumps and running the ropes to see how he feels. And it looks like Barrio Rikers will be making a return to the ring very near future. So very cool.
He's got to get his heat back after that guy won that Royal Rumble on him.
And if you would like to know what Vince is referring to, go to botchfest.com. They did go viral. And if you want to go back and listen to Big Heck's original return to the show, I think last month, towards the beginning, he does go into detail about that wonderful evening and what he may or may not have done differently. But again, wasn't his fault.
Nope.
He did the best he could in a fucking horrible situation. And again, go to Botchfest and check it out.
Weird. Yeah, for those of you, there's a video out there. We won't repeat the story again, but just the idea. When I watch that video, I go, "Oh God, here comes this botch!" And then in the corner, I see these tights, and I'm.
But
like,
if he had hit it,
logo.
it would have been insane.
It would have been great, but he didn't. So here we are talking about it. Anyway,
well, right.
Go back.
Even Chris Jericho knows about this botch.
Yeah. Yep. It's a wonderful botch.
So, what should we dive into next? I mean, we do have War Games is going to be on as well. So the competition continues. I do always enjoy War Games. We are getting 2 War Games within the pay-per-view.
I don't watch NXT because we don't get it in Canada until like Friday and only an hour of it for some reason.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
On the network or where?
Huh?
How do you get it? Like, what do you watch it on?
If I don't watch it.
Oh, okay.
But I watched obviously I watched TakeOver and any other pay-per-views. So I don't know like what matches are, but I will still predict them if we're doing that.
Well, I think here's the thing. The main one is the 2 War Games matches. We've got a women's War Games match and a men's War Games match. The women's, I think, is a little harder to pick than the men's. For me, I think the men's War Games is an easy pick, but we'll see. Steve, you got it pulled up?
I'm working on it. It's funny. I'm actually in a similar boat to Amanda. Not that I don't get it. I just haven't had the time to sit there and like get through it. And I do enjoy NXT, so it's nothing on them. But War Games is one that I think I'll make it a point to make sure that I do at some point get to watch it because it should be a good show. I do have it pulled up, and I think I know the wrestlers. I think well enough where I can make predictions and hope for the best.
Oh, Steve froze. Look at it. It's frozen this long. Oh, that's wonderful. You're back. You just froze for a second, buddy.
Oh, you froze again.
Oh, you froze again.
Are we back now?
Oh, there you go. I think you're back. You said more than 2 words.
No,
I
haven't frozen. I'm looking at my other screen because I'm trying to find the lineup.
We're going to go review the tape on this. We're pretty sure you froze.
I'm pretty sure you froze.
It's very possible.
Either one.
All right. Well, listen.
Stroke, and I don't know.
I mean, I hope it wasn't me. That would be a little creepy.
You're like, no, I'm good. Or like, legitimately, if you sat there with that look on your face for a while, something happened to you medically because you were there like. But yeah, man. War Games. I don't even. Do they have the other matches announced? Because they slowly were announcing the women's War Games competitors, and then.
Is it on Saturday or Sunday?
I think it's on Saturday. I think, isn't it? Aren't they usually on Saturday, or did they finally go to Sunday now?
No, yeah.
I hope it's on Saturday.
I'm doing the same thing.
Let's see. I think I got it here.
6th, so that's a Saturday.
So there's all right. Here we go. So
I'm pretty sure it's a Saturday, right?
Uh,
It's Sunday. Holy
it's
shit.
December 6th at 7:00. It is Sunday. They did go to Sunday, and you're gonna have Team Shotzi.
You don't like her at all, do you?
I fucking can't stand her, man, and I just don't know why she just irks me. But we got Team Shotzi, and Candice LeRae.
Yeah.
So
Who's on Team Shot?
Candice LeRae. I'm trying to find that here. LeRae has gone with Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, and Tony Storm, who recently turned heel.
Right, Tony Storm's
Right, and then Ember Moon and Rhea Ripley have aligned themselves with Shotzi.
and
Oh,
one
okay,
free
so
space who will be a surprise.
That one's gonna win. I can tell you that now.
Who's that?
Who's gonna win?
Team Shotzi.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And they have one.
Yeah, probably.
Space.
Yeah. you
well,
know what?
yeah. I guess there's still one to be determined. So yeah, but who's that going to be? Who's been out that would make sense to be
Maybe,
like a big surprise?
Maybe someone's gonna drop down from Raw or
Charlotte.
SmackDown.
Ooh, interesting.
No, I don't think it's going to be Charlotte, but that'd be a hell of a thing. I thought maybe they'd get the women's.
Maybe it'll
champion
be Lana.
involved. Oh yeah, she could just stand outside the ring and wait for everybody else to die and then win the match.
We'll get to Lana. The fact that she's had 2 victories in back-to-back weeks.
Hey, you got somebody knocking at the door here.
What?
Check your thing.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I do. We have a message. It's Sunday. Thank you, Facebook user. That must
There's
be
also
Ryan.
a message from somebody says, "Let me in." And I'm not talking about the Fiend. I'm literally saying somebody's trying to get in the chat right now.
I don't see that.
You don't see, go to your Facebook messages. Anyway, I will keep going with this. As you look at it. So the
Okay, I'm going.
the women's match, we have that one person left. Maybe now it'll probably be.
Oh shit! The chairman.
It's probably been waiting here. Yeah, see, there we go.
Sorry, chairman.
Cheer.
Now we're muted.
How do?
All right.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry for the.
No, that's fine. So we'll get his pick. Team Shotzi, Team Candice, chairman.
Team Candice.
All right. We got Dexter Loomis versus Cameron Grimes in a strap match. I really could give a shit less about this, but what do you guys think?
Dexter Loomis. would
You
be
stole
my
that from
guess.
me.
Oh, me and the chairman feel the same way. about that.
Who gives a fuck match of the night?
Who
That's
is
strong
it?
contender.
Dexter Loomis and who?
Cameron Grimes. He used to be in TNA as Trevor Lee.
No, I don't know.
His name. What about
I-
Dexter Loomis?
Dexter Loomis.
They're
used to
actually
be
both good
Sam
workers,
Shaw
but I could give a shit
TNA.
less.
Yeah, they're both good workers, but they haven't been like zombie thing and all this other horse shit. Like they don't just wrestle. They're not wrestling. Anyway, yeah, that's a who gives a shit match of the night. Second, who gives a shit? Not really. I'm kidding. North American Championship triple threat match. We've got the current champion Leon Ruff, who weighs about the size of my left thigh, against Johnny Gargano and Damian Priest.
I gotta go with Rockland County's own Damian Priest. You know, gotta keep it local. Listen, I think he earned it. I mean, Ruff, came out of nowhere. So it's obvious, in my opinion, it's going to come down to being Priest or Gargano.
Gargano just had it, so I feel like Priest should
Would make the most sense.
I'm so lost. It was on Damian Priest, and then it went to Gargano, and
Yeah, there
then
was a ladder. I think Priest won a ladder match, right?
yeah, he won
Yeah.
a ladder match for
And
it.
then somehow Gargano beat him for the North American title.
and
And then during a weekly episode of NXT, Damian Priest distracted Johnny Gargano and allowed Leon Ruff to roll him up. And Leon Ruff literally looks like a 10-year-old kid.
yeah, I have seen that.
Yeah, and he put the belt on and it fell off his waist, and then his career died because that's like he's going to be the James Ellsworth of NXT at this point now.
Oh Lord.
Right? Like, I mean, except in like a baby face, he's a baby face instead of James Ellsworth. But so yeah, it was most recently on Johnny Gargano. Now it's on Leon Ruff. I feel like it's got to go back to Damian Priest because I don't understand why it even left Damian Priest.
Yeah, I don't get why it ever left Damian Priest. So I hope it goes back to him.
All right. I don't know if they're going to announce any more matches, but the last one that they have announced is the Undisputed Era versus Team Pat McAfee, which is Pat McAfee, Pete Dunne, Danny Burch, and Oney Lorcan.
I mean, I gotta feel like by now the Undisputed Era has to go over because
they've lost every war game.
right. So they've got to. I think when the fuck are they getting called up is the better question.
Well, see, that's
why would we want to move them up when they can't do anything with the current roster?
Well, that's
Well, that's true, but I
like
the only thing that they need to do is they need to go to Raw so that the New Day can face somebody else because there's no other tag teams.
They need to grab the brass ring.
But we've been talking about the Undisputed Era for so long. Every takeover, we go, okay, this is the takeover where they put everybody over and move up. Is this the one where they finally put somebody over and move up? I don't know. Like they've done everything that you can do in NXT multiple times.
And I feel like you have Retribution, you have the Hurt Business, you have a bunch of these. It would be maybe another time to bring another faction in. I mean, listen, it only works if you bring them all in together.
Yes, we have all those classic factions together. Like,
hey, you know what? Listen, I'm sorry. You said Dudley. That's another thing that we should mention real quick. So apparently Devon isn't doing very well. All I keep hearing is health issues.
Yeah, they aren't,
but they're not elaborating on it.
Not specific. Speaking of, did you see his kids on AEW Dark these last 2 weeks?
Yeah, and they're looking good.
I mean, that's when you get trained by the Dudley Boys to be a tag team.
Yeah,
you get
seriously.
trained to be a tag team, man. That's oh my god. I'm looking forward to them. Last week on AEW was the debut of Taz's son. Don't know his real name, but his wrestling name is going to be Hook, which is both the Red Hook section of Brooklyn that Taz came from.
Right.
And if you were a good hooker or a shooter back in the day, you were a good catch wrestler. So Hook, I imagine, because he actually got a wrestling scholarship to college, is going to be more of a ground mat-based wrestler.
I don't like the name.
Hook.
No?
Yeah, I don't know. They just call him Hook. That's all we know about him. And what's even funnier is he's like double Taz's height. He's like skinnier. He's like they took Taz and they smushed him skinnier and they stretched him taller. Like he's skinny and tall. He's nothing. He looks more like the mother than he looks like Taz.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah,
that is weird.
So Taz's kid this is so weird. We got Taz's kid coming up. The Devon Dudley's kids coming up. We've got. I'm just picturing like in 10 years when we start hearing about the Hardy kids. Like Matt's kids are going to be old enough to start really wrestling in.
Yeah. God, that's when you'll feel really old.
Oh,
right?
I remember, yes, because I remember the first Hardy baby, Maxo. I remember him as a baby. I saw him as a baby at shows.
Yeah, me too.
If he grows up to become a wrestler or entertainer, he's on TV, I'm gonna feel fucking ancient.
Dude, there's absolutely no way that those kids do not become wrestlers.
Yeah.
There's no way.
No.
Yeah.
That's a done deal. Done.
Already been decided.
Already done. So
like
hey, listen, we should really we should maybe dive in and talk a little Raw, but we do have the chairman here, so maybe we should get a little chairman Raw in 30.
Yes.
Shit. I'm having some technical difficulties. Bear with me a second here. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh God.
You good?
We put him on the spot. Well, you can hear you great.
All right, so here we go. Oh God, what the hell? I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. I'm gonna
notes in
throw
his
it back
phone
to
aren't
you
opening.
guys. Yeah, it's not opening
All right,
up on
so-
the phone.
All right.
Well, Chairman's having some technical difficulties. Let's start with because as we all know, and I say it every week, my favorite parts so far of Raw are obviously Alexa Bliss and The Fiend, and I'm loving everything about Alexa Bliss. She's killing it week after week. Everything is great. Now she has a new set for her moment of bliss. So we opened the show with a moment of bliss, and of course her guest was the Legend Killer himself. Great segment. They kind of went back and forth. She was a little nuts. He was psycho. It worked well. And then the Fiend came out and they played basically catch with Alexa Bliss. It was very weird. Like I kind of get it. Orton threw Alexa back to the Fiend so he can get out of the ring and distract him that way. I get it. I mean, it worked. It was just very weird, and that was kind of all we got from them.
It was brilliant. That's like the psychological of how Alexa Bliss is the one thing that the Fiend will want.
Yeah,
No, I get that
No,
completely.
That's the only weakness
Whatever.
the Fiend has.
No, I get it, and I loved it. You know what my problem is? To me, it's never enough. Like I always want more of them. I could literally watch 3 hours of them for all of Monday Night Raw and be very content.
Well, yeah,
So
it stinks
what?
because the rest of it stinks.
Well, now there were
Basically.
well, yeah, but listen, there were some decent matches on the show.
And then we had the funeral for Mia Yim's career.
All right, so if we're going there, let's fucking go there.
First, she loses to Mia Yim. First of all, okay,
Her first single match on the main roster, by the way.
her name is like Reconciliation. Her name is like an old wooden ship's name. I don't even know what her name is.
It's
But anyway.
Mia fucking Yim.
But they swear it's not. But now she lost her mask, so it is her. And then she
is
lost to Dana Brooke, which is the equivalent of like, I don't know, if the Brooklyn Brawler rolled you up while Ellsworth counted the 3 count. I don't know. Like, I don't know what's worse. And then, so all of this is happening. She lost the mask. She lost her match. She got yelled at by Ali, saying there's no failure in retribution.
But they lost their first.
There's so much failure.
They've been nothing but a failure since they fucking started.
Yeah.
You know what? Kick her out of the group. Just kick her out. It will help her career.
Yeah, it would be the best thing to ever happen to her career
You know,
is get
fucking,
If people
Mercedes-
lost and then they got kicked out, there'd be nobody left in Retribution.
That's true. Right. There's not one member that's undefeated.
Mercedes
You know, it's-
Martinez was the only smart one and got the fuck out.
Yeah. I just, listen, I wish nothing but the best for Mia Yim. I'm a huge fan. I think she's great in the ring. She's got a great look. I just to finally get a match on the main roster after all this time, because you've been nothing but a lackey, no part in fault to her. And then you lose, and it's to Dana Brooke. I mean, listen, fucking Dana Brooke, really? I mean,
So did they recognize that she was Mia Yim because her mask came off?
nope.
No, they're just still like she's whatever her stupid name is.
Yeah, I guess.
Because the whole thing was they wear masks so you don't know who they are,
Yeah.
and they're just bad names. But then her mask was off, so
Maybe they're gonna try and erase it from history.
just like Raw Underground.
We don't talk about that anymore. It doesn't exist. What do you
Oh.
mean?
Right.
They closed off that one. All they had to do was put a lock on that one door in the performance center, and they shut down the entire thing.
It's a real shame too, because that actually had potential.
No, it didn't.
Oh, it did. I think. Listen, I'm not saying the way it was had potential,
Right,
but there
no.
were things that they could have changed and tweaked, maybe gotten a belt for it or something, and make it look a little more real, like UFC, rather than more really wrestling without ropes. Then I mean, there are things I think they could have done where it had some potential. I'm not surprised that we don't talk about it anymore. I'll say, yeah.
They brought in gimmicks instead of shooters. They brought in gimmicks like Babatunde and all this other horse shit to have underground fights when it's like you should really have like Chad Gable facing Matt Riddle. Like, let's just do have the legit wrestler face the legit wrestler. If you're gonna have an underground street fight, they're not doing choke slams and all this other goofy shit. They're gonna do like real street fighting move. But they're using this big guy okay now. He actually is kind of funny. Bobo.
They're starting to try and give him a personality. It looks like because he cracked a few smiles and the big dude.
He's so big.
Huge.
He's
but
huge.
I like it better when he's serious and he doesn't talk. Quite honestly.
But the problem. So if you remember, there was I think it might have been the Jericho podcast with Ambrose Moxley. Moxley says, as soon as Vince McMahon finds out you're funny, you're fucking dead. And there was a podcast where I think Jim Cornette or somebody else or Bart Gunn, one of them tried to tell Kurgan not to dance. It was somebody's wedding and he wanted to dance with his wife. They're like, don't do it. Kurgan danced at the wedding. Vince McMahon saw him dancing. The next week he was dancing with the fucking oddities on TV. McMahon saw that Moxley was funny, so Moxley was out there doing goofy shit. Now Riddle's out there doing his fucking rush hour routine with him and the big tall black guy. Like, it's just the weirdest thing. They find these guys, they go, oh, well, you're funny, so you always have to be funny.
Riddle's promos have been hilarious, by the way.
They have been, but it's just like...
But it's only because he's so, he's
stoned.
And
he's clearly stoned and he's reading the lines and they're not real. He's like, what do you mean, bro? My turtle's named Hoppy. You get it? Because I'm high and I named my turtle that doesn't hop Hoppy because it hops and it's funny. Like, it's just, come on, man. Like, I get what they're doing, but at the same time, it's like they're burning out this Matt Riddle thing real fast.
Yeah.
Like, they just need to...
Especially because he was on, 3 separate segments. Doing the
they did it right, and it was all him just slowly annoying everybody that was around. Like, Keith Lee walked away from him.
Yeah,
that was hilarious.
But that's funny. But it's also like, okay, now, and then he eats a pin, so he's the jokey guy that lost in the match. And then even Keith Lee, how many times are we gonna say that Keith Lee was in a match that he didn't need to be in, and
he looked great though.
Looked great and didn't win.
Yeah.
All the time.
That was a hell of a match, though. Definitely
it was a hell of a match. But how many times can you let this guy get so far and then just pull it away? Anyway, we got Chairman's back. You good for Raw in 30 seconds now?
Just about.
All right. But yeah, so AJ Styles is now the #1 contender, which isn't bad. Him and Drew should have some good matches, but
Chairman, hold on. I want to know your opinion on this. What's your opinion on what Vince is saying about Keith Lee? I mean,
here's the thing. If he wasn't in that match, you could have had the same match. Now it's just another match that he didn't win.
Yeah.
That's my only problem is that they keep putting him in these positions where, well, he can't lose this match, so we're going to do a double count out because you both went through tables, you speared somebody through the announce desk or whatever the fuck. Like,
but that's the right way to do it. You keep him looking strong. He's not taking the L, even though he technically lost. He's not the one getting pinned.
Win. But to book him against people he should beat.
You didn't want him to win that match. As much as I wanted Keith Lee to win, I didn't want him to win because he's not winning the title.
Well,
right. So I'd rather him not even be in that position. I knew AJ was taking that win, and I liked the finish. I thought it was well done. I see what you're saying. I do. But at the same time, they're not making him weak. At all.
Right, they're just keeping him on the back burner. So,
see, now, and I agree with that too, but I think he needs to be thrown into a mid-card title type of situation and get the belt. I think he shouldn't go right for the world title. He should do the mid-card thing. Listen, nowadays, a run is 60 days, and then so. Or fucking win, USIC, whichever one, win that one, and then win the Rumble. And then drop and then go for the title at the,
I think they don't have very many big guys, right? And they don't have anyone with the charisma or the skill set that this guy has. So I think they're putting him over right now, little by little. So we keep seeing him. We keep getting his name. We keep seeing him in the high profile matches. So once we do put the strap on him, it makes more sense. So, I agree with both of you. I'm in the middle there. But what else are you going to do with him? He's already on the main roster. You can't send him back down. And he's been with everybody. He's in a program pretty much with everybody. So,
and it's not like we want to see him in a feud with like Chad Gable. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
He steals the show every time he's in the ring.
Every time.
I'm not a fan of his new music though.
It's better than the other one.
Oh yeah, it's better than.
I kind of like the old one.
The generic.
No, I like the one from NXT. That I wish they never had to change.
Creator wrestler music is the best.
Oh yeah.
Jeez, but what are we doing? So speaking of just WWE in general, and we could talk about both shows because the people I'm going to bring up both shows. You've got Peyton Royce, who was just in a jokey comedy tag team, and they broke her away, and we thought she was going to be a single star, and now she's in a tag team with Lacey Evans. It's like a jokey. Lacey Evans is stuck up, and Peyton Royce is normal tag team, and then you got Billie Kay handing her fucking resume out to people. And honestly,
Billie Kay is so underutilized.
Billie Kay, people don't realize this because first of all, they're both gorgeous.
Mhm.
Peyton Royce is a very attractive girl, and they go, "Oh well, she's going to be the star." And then you realize that Billie Kay has all the personality, all the charisma, all the timing. Not that Peyton Royce doesn't, but Billie Kay has it in fucking droves.
Yeah,
She's the most charismatic
female.
person probably on the roster. But again, once Vince sees you're funny, and you're just always funny. But I don't know what she's doing. Like I want to know what the progression is. What is the next step?
I don't see where it's going for her.
If you're going to break up a tag team that's been together for as long as those girls have been wrestling, and they're best friends, and the fans perceive them together as a package deal, you got to have something for both of them to do.
I will say this: the fact that we're even having a conversation with her name in it is a good sign, because, they've been separated long enough where Billie Kay's an afterthought at this point. So the fact that she's still
I think it's totally reversed. I think that Peyton Royce is now the afterthought.
I think it switched. I think there was a point in there where it flip-flopped.
Yeah.
Because I think originally, the way it was played, the Iconics broke up. Peyton threw Billie into the ring at Raw Underground, and Billie got the shit kicked out of her. But then they were still friends next week. Like it just, I think they wanted to make like a hard cut and have Peyton like turn heel. Something changed.
Yeah.
Where that didn't happen, and now I think Amanda's right. I think they see maybe now, like me and her think, they're going to see Billie as the bigger potential star out of this tag team.
Yeah.
Because she's taller. She's physically a bigger person.
Mm-hmm.
She's in terms of wrestling quality, they're both okay. Neither of them are like workhorses or anything, but they're solid. They can wrestle, and I think she's got the attitude and the personality, man. But it was another situation where with Enzo and Cass, there were positives and negatives to Enzo and Cass, but when they worked together, it was magic. There's negatives and positives of Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. When they work together, it's a good thing. And it works. And it's like when you split up the New Day, I still don't like this, that the New Day is still being called the New Day and they're the tag champions. And then they got another guy in the New Day who's on the other show, but he's not really part of the New Day because they broke up, but he'll carry the belts out for them on an interbrand pay-per-view. Like, are they together or are they not together? Is it a faction? Are they it's just, I don't know. I don't like that they did that with
I didn't have a problem with that. I thought it was cool to see him, cool because they were on the same show that, he could go down. And the fact is, he gave the respect and didn't stay out there either. He went right to the back.
I think they need to do that, but then Big E's got to turn heel.
They're half in, half out on this Big E thing. They need to commit. Like, I'm not saying necessarily that heel turn is the solution, because we always seem to say, oh, well, just the babyface needs to turn heel, and that's his new character. Even if he just came out and was like, I have to put the New Day stuff aside for now because I'm not part of the group. When I'm not with them, I'm not going to wear these colors and all this stuff, and just become a different Big E.
I don't want to see Big E turn heel though.
But I think that's what like you need to do to solidify yourself as a single. Like when you are a part of such a big tag team and faction that the New Day was, and being so positive, you're never going to see Big E as a single because you're always going to still associate him with the New Day, whether he's on the same show or not. So for him to turn heel, that's how you get him to be Big E and not Big E part of the New Day.
Chairman? I'm just curious.
I love the fact that they split them up. I'm so tired of seeing the same shit. I don't want to see no more fucking pancakes. I don't want to see any more rainbow colored unicorns and shit. I want to see Big E go in the ring and squash people the way he should. Like when he came in with Ziggler and he was the muscle and he was actually putting on some matches. You know, I think that's it. I'm done with the comedy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They want to keep him. I understand. They do the podcast together. They're still associated. All this stuff. They want to keep Big E babyface because the New Day does big business for them, and they're a big role model for kids. It's like the same thing they would used to say about Hogan. Oh, we could never turn Hogan because of the kids and all this.
Same with John Cena. Why they didn't go back to heel?
Cena never turned.
Yeah.
And part of that was also because of the merchandise sales. They were afraid of losing that revenue.
Right. But that's why I don't think he necessarily has to turn heel. But if to use an analogy from another form of entertainment, when you read the Harry Potter books, or at least when I read the Harry Potter books, when I first started reading them, I was like the age of Harry Potter in the book. And by the time the last book came around, I was the age of the character in that book. I'm not the same. The character grew up. And you knew that as you lived your life, you were growing up. But when you read the book, you go, oh, Harry Potter changed. It's not that he was a bad guy or a good guy. He was always a good guy, but he changed as time went on. So I think Big E could change. If Big E could grow up from, like, if the New Day thing was kid stuff, he could grow up a little and just be that. And then when he's back with the New Day, it'll be like them getting like, we got to try and he's like that guy, he's like your friend that stops going out to the bar with you and you got to ask him to go out to the bar. But then finally, when he comes out, like he has a good time, they have to like bring him back to be the New Day guy. Right. Yeah. So like, they got to do that. But like, I think he should be, it should almost be like one of those things on like a sitcom where one of the characters is like, guys, you guys goof around too much. You're always cracking jokes. Like, I need to be more serious. And like, then that's his character. But I don't know. I see why they haven't split them up officially. But I think if you're going to, you're absolutely right. If they're going to invest in Big E as a singles guy, he's got to be as far away from the New Day as possible. And Chairman, you're right. The gear, whatever it is that they need to change, the rainbow. He can't be wearing unicorns if he's going to be not with the New Day. So just little tweaks. It's not big changes. It's little things that they could fix. These are easily fixable things. I guess we should get it in early, or we get it in before, not in early, get it in late here, before the bell for the end of the podcast. Braun Strowman, injured, on the shelf, not active. He was supposed to be the challenger for Drew McIntyre.
That's
right.
Suspended indefinitely.
Correct.
Why?
And I'm hearing 4 to 6 months, right? Is that what you're hearing, Vince?
Was it a knee? Was it a knee injury that I heard? I forget.
Yeah, it's a knee. That's what I heard too.
It's at least, even if it's just a scope, it's at least 4 months. Knees, and with his size and weight and all that, you don't want to fuck around with a knee. It took me 8 months to a year to get back on my feet after an ACL surgery. So, I'm nowhere near the athlete these guys are. They can crank it out faster, and they've got access to steroids and all kinds of shit, I'm sure. But it's not a quick turnaround on a knee injury at all. I don't know. Would you think they would have done a TLC match?
Does it matter? Braun Strowman is useless.
No, he wasn't going to win. He's
fucking
that's why
useless.
AJ is in the match. But you think they're going to?
They gave him the belt for nothing. He's useless.
They had,
they put over his car more than they put him over.
Yeah, anytime he flipped something over, it was a big deal. But then it was like there were too many times where they were like, oh, he's a big unstoppable monster, and then like Braun, he gets stopped by Roman Reigns. Well, he's not an unstoppable monster if you get every pay-per-view he fucking loses. So it's like, at one point you're just like, yeah, he's a big guy, but what's his win-loss record the fans didn't have the faith in him that he should have had,
Mhm.
or did have at one point and then lost the faith. But that's the main event scene from Raw. I guess we'll touch on SmackDown. We got about a couple minutes left here, 10 minutes or so. Obviously, the story that is keeping everything together on SmackDown is the Roman Reigns tribe. What's that?
Love it.
Yes. Fucking amazing.
It's
Like-
it's something different. Did you see? Because now it appears that Kevin Owens is going to be the challenger
Yes.
for Reigns, and Kevin Owens is a great promo. Obviously, Amanda's excited because Kevin Owens is Canadian, so she's excited for the victory or potential victory, even though I know.
Okay, but like we know that no one's gonna
No, I
be
know.
Roman for a while.
Yes, that for quite a while, maybe
Like-
WrestleMania, or maybe as Steve says, next WrestleMania, not even this
Yeah,
one.
like I can't even see him winning at WrestleMania.
There was a. Did you see the talking?
I mean losing, sorry.
Right.
Mhm.
Did you see the talking smack
Phenomenal.
between Paul Heyman and oh, you got to go see it. Oh, we'll send
It was awesome.
It was Paul Heyman sitting down. Kayla Braxton was there. It was Kayla, it was Paul, and it was Kevin Owens. And he
Mhm.
like shook Kevin Owens' hand. And he like talked to him very like it wasn't a wrestling promo. It was a very calm conversation. Like both guys were just that calm voice, but like with the tension underneath it. It was the best segment that WWE's put out in fucking forever, because all this other shit with is could be atrocious aside from
Except for Kevin Owens being involved in any way, shape, or form.
Kevin
He's
Owens
terrible.
is such a good promo.
Oh, come on.
How is
Kevin Owens is a good
Kevin Owens
promo. I know he's not a lot of shape, but he's a
How is he
great.
terrible?
Kevin Owens can wrestle. Kevin Owens, when he was here, was fantastic. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I am not scared of Kevin Owens, and he does not look intimidating. He's talking to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is basically just laughing like, "Who the fuck are you?" This does not work. They have no
You're
one else
out
to
of your
put him in a
mind.
program. Let's just throw him in. That's what it looks like. That's exactly what it is.
Well, I mean, they have. This is another situation like with Drew's title. They needed to pick somebody credible, but won't win. So AJ's credible won't win.
But how is Kevin Owens credible? His knees are gone. He's got no knees. He's got Kevin Nash knees.
He's a former Universal
Oh,
champion.
stop.
Former Universal champion who never got his rematch. So that's the story that they're digging into here. Is that
Oh
this is a guy-
God! Oh stop! Now you should say oh stop, Steve. With that,
they're gonna say like he never got his rematch, which is true. It went right from Lesnar to go from Goldberg
yeah,
to Lesnar.
but what? Why would he get a rematch? He got squashed and they jobbed him out. He's fucking useless.
He's making that's the argument that he's making, is that he should get a Universal title shot because he's never had an opportunity at the Universal title since he
Oh
held it.
God!
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying that's what they're doing.
I'm not afraid of anyone. I'm especially not afraid of you. What the fuck kind of promo is that? That shit's terrible.
I mean, depending on how you say it, it could be fine. He's not afraid of him. What you gonna say?
I'm gonna say that he's terrible and that was a shitty promo. That's what I'm gonna say. Go ahead, Amanda.
Disagree.
Hard disagree. Yeah.
Hard disagree.
We're not talking about workers in the ring. We're not talking about moves and all that shit. We're talking about straight promo and a random throwing in of fucking Kevin Owens. Come on.
You're out of your mind.
You have to admit that that's so random. It doesn't make
No.
any sense. It has nothing to do with anything.
Kevin Owens being the challenger now, I think, I mean, you're right. It's just a sense that they needed to put somebody in there who is an upper mid card main event guy, that can have a good match and lose, basically.
When was the last time Kevin Owens was in the main event?
That's a very good question.
Exactly.
Which is why
But
It's
that doesn't
time.
mean he's not a main event guy. 'Cause
But
very
he's
much
not.
so
In
is.
order to be a main event guy, you have to be in the main event.
But
That's
now he's in the main
that's-
event.
But now he is. So
Which
he
makes-
is.
Now he's the main event guy.
for no reason. The point was that it's for no reason and it's random. If I took a dice with
He wasn't
6
built up to
wrestlers
it.
on it,
He wasn't
if
built
I,
up to this world title.
exactly. If I take 6 faces and throw it on a dice and throw it at a fucking wall and say, "Hey, you're in the main event this week," that's better than throwing Kevin Owens in randomly.
Disagree, because I think that Kevin Owens is also somebody that can be up there with Roman Reigns' level at given being just thrown in there, whereas other people can't and wouldn't be able to hang with him in that level, be on the same level of his promos or Paul Heyman's promos, whereas Kevin Owens can.
I would love to see how many people tune away from this one. This would be fantastic to get some stats on that.
I happen to agree
I
with
don't
Amanda.
think so. I think that people will be very invested. People love Kevin Owens, whether he's a face or a
Yep,
heel.
100%.
I like
Very
Kevin
true.
Owens. I just want
That's why we have a show.
I don't think I just he's another one of those guys, and I'm not going to say it's the everything boils down to bad WWE booking, but they've got 1,000 fucking guys, and
Yeah.
you're not always going to be a priority, especially when the new
Yeah,
guy
but for anyone to say that this makes sense right now, it's fucking insane. I'm
It
sorry.
makes sense because they want Roman Reigns to look strong, whether it's
Right.
Roman Reigns looking strong on the mic.
But
or
beating
in
a
the-
random mid-carder for no
But he's
fucking
not
reason
a
without a
random
build-up
mid-carder.
makes no sense.
He's not a random mid Carter.
But
at all.
I can see what Chairman's saying by like he didn't like go on like a win streak or win a tournament or something like that. It just kind of came up like, oh hey, Kevin Owens, you're going to challenge Roman Reigns tonight, and he's like, oh okay, I'm going to go out and challenge Roman Reigns tonight. It didn't seem like there was anything hinting towards this becoming a conflict.
They hinted at it the week before with Jey Uso,
Okay, then maybe I don't know. I don't watch SmackDown.
and then they did it again with Jey Uso last.
Oh, so it's via Jay. All right, so it's,
Yes.
all right, okay. Then this is sort of
I do
I don't
enjoy
know.
Jay. I do enjoy Jay getting some burn though. It's nice to see him get. I mean, he's losing every match, but at least he's on TV.
Yeah.
And he's putting on good matches too. Like he may be taking the L, but he's looking
The
great.
kid is doing some work. He's doing some good work.
Yeah, I agree. Well, with that being said, folks,
Boy,
we have
wow,
reached the top of the hour.
freaking flew by. Amanda, are you? Is this going to be a regular thing, or is this a one-time appearance?
I'll be back every now and then.
All right.
She's just gonna surprise us with a little drop, and I love it.
Is there anything you want to plug on your end before you? All right.
No.
Okay, cool. You see her thing there. Follow her on social media with her tag. I found a really funny picture somebody shared on, and it's not the picture that's funny. It's the caption on Facebook. It's this picture from the '80s of Macho Man with holding a little kid, and the caption says, "Macho Man holding his son Jay Lethal, declaring him rightful heir to the throne." It's oh man, it's
That's
obviously
funny.
it's from 1982 or something, but pretty good. Yeah, that'll do it for this week. Holy
Good
shit.
year. Good year, 1982.
Yeah. I flew by this week. Didn't even like. I don't know, man. These when we have a bunch of people all throwing it around the room, then these recordings fly by.
Yeah, I mean, it's a matter of good conversation
Yeah.
and the amount of topics. I mean, it just lucked out that we did have quite a
Right,
bit to
we had a
cover
bunch
this
of
week,
stuff.
and
Cover, yeah.
So,
That'll do. We'll have another. If you enjoyed this week, you should check us out next week and continue to check us out. We're here every Tuesday, live streaming on various parts of the internet. Mostly, you can go to @tagmeadate, @tagmeadate, no spaces. You can search for the War Report. If you go to youtube.com, type in Tag Me a Date, you'll find our channel. You can subscribe to the channel, hit the bell. If you go to Twitch, our Twitch tag is War Report, twitch.tv/War Report. If you are an Amazon Prime member, you get one free Twitch subscription every month. If you'd like, you can use that Twitch subscription to send a couple bucks to the show. You do have to do it every 30 days. And you don't have to just give it to us. You can find other Twitch streamers that you find useful or entertaining. But we're asking you directly on our show, so why not do it if you can?
Do it.
And if you like the audio version rather than the video version, it comes out the day after, so on a Wednesday. It's on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcast, Stitcher, Spotify, and SoundCloud. You can look for the War Report podcast. You can look for Tag Me a Date. Either one should get you there. Subscribe to that, and then when the audio version is ripped by Ryan, he uploads it, and it'll go right to your phone on your podcast app of choice. So that should be it. We'll be back live streaming 7 p.m. on Eastern Time next week on a Tuesday. What's that song? On a Tuesday, whatever it is. But we'll be right back. I can't even remember the name of the song. That's so bad.
Going up on a Tuesday.
That's it. That's the one. Thank you, Chim. And from that little bit, you're like
Shit.
Google. Shit. He's like that Google commercial where that guy poorly
Shazam.
down road. Yeah, you're like Shazam. He just Shazam that shit. So yeah, that'll do it for this week. We'll be live streaming next week, Tuesday, 7 p.m. on Eastern time, right back here on twitch.tv/War Report, or on the Tag Me a Date YouTube channel, or on the Tag Me a Date Facebook, or the Tag Me a Date Periscope, wherever you want to find us. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy it, tell your friends. If your friends enjoy wrestling, they'll enjoy our podcast as well. We want to get more viewers, more listeners, so please spread the word about the War Report. Thank you for listening. Thank you for telling your friends, and we will see you back here next week, 7 p.m. Eastern time, for another edition of the War Report. Have a nice night.
Shit.